Good morning everyone, my name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include English-American film director, screenwriter, and producer Christopher Nolan, Austrian-American actor, businessman, bodybuilder and politician Arnold Schwarzenegger, American football player and actor Terry Crews, British recording artist, singer, songwriter, musician and record producer Kate Bush, and American Association football player Hope Solo.
Right guys, so it is Sunday. It's brilliant sunshine. It's really, really hot. It's a nice day. I just wanted to show you one of the plants that I've grown from seed. So this is grown from seed, this plant here. I'm well chuffed with this. My plants are growing. So I planted a few seeds like a few weeks ago, maybe a month, and this is what I've got, some flowering going on here. I love my plants. Along with plants, I do a bit of cooking. I love my music. I love to write. I've got a diary. I love plants, flowers, nature, going to the seaside, picking up shells, that sort of thing. So yeah, I've got a lot of hobbies that I like to do. So I'm not completely boring, right? So I'm in my flat today by myself on a Sunday. I live by myself. This is what happens when you get divorced. You can't find someone to settle down with. I'm quite happy by myself, pottering around in my flat, seeing to my plants, doing what everybody does when they're within a couple and a family, but I just do it all by myself. Basically, wash up, do the washing, hoover, tidy up. Everything that people do in a family, I do by myself. I've got used to it now. I've been living like this now, completely by myself, without no partner, since 2017. I moved into this flat in 2020. I looking at it as a new start, and it all went pear-shaped and wrong. So I'm trying to rectify that, try and live in this place like I should have done in 2020, but it's still difficult when you live on your own. I suffer from severe depression. I've got chronic pain issues where I take painkillers, and sometimes all I want to do is lie down and curl up under the duvet and just stay there. However, I can't because I've got a lovely dog. And having a pet makes you get up in the morning when they jump all over you, wanting to be fed, wanting to go out, even when you don't want to do so. I've also got two elderly cats who I love and adore. I've had Snowball too, the white cat, since 2010. So she's getting on for 14 now. Snowball is. Time goes on and I just want to make the most of it, and that's what I'm trying to do. But people want to, in a way, coerce and force me to do things I don't want to do, and it doesn't work. You can't force someone to do something they don't want to do, to go with someone they don't want to go with. You can't force them. You can't take away things, annoy somebody, upset somebody. When they don't want to do something, they won't do it. And after 5 years, you think people would have realised that. But no, they still try. So at the moment, one of my sons is in London, one of them is in Scotland. I hope they're enjoying themselves wherever they are. I'm down here in Rochester, Kent, which is part of the Medway towns, Gillingham, Rochester, Chatham and Strood. By the way, I've heard from Boots the chemist I should be picking up my prescription from Strood sometime next week. It is very, very hot, and to walk a long way in this heat, you know, can be quite horrible, sweating and feeling faint. Just take lots of fluids and rest. I'm not a young woman, and I walked from Gillingham to Chatham the other day, and it nearly killed me, you know, sweating buckets. And I wasn't very well either, but I had to go out. I'm just eating small amounts of meals. I'm not eating heavy meals in this weather, just small amounts and lots of fluid and liquid. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
In Spain, the climate is more suitable?
Absolutely. What I would say, we're very close proximity to Morocco, and the laws in Morocco changed recently. They basically sort of had an amnesty on farmers that have been illegally farming cannabis for many, many years. Morocco's just had an amnesty. But what I'm saying is the legal and the illegal trade goes alongside each other here in Spain. It's much more relaxed. I mean, if you wanted to grow your own plants, you're allowed to grow, if you're a resident, grow a certain amount a year for your own use and stuff like that. And that completely changed. But what I'm saying is the UK policy is absolutely driven by the three main cannabis.
All right, well, that's it. It's an interesting perspective. Daniel, thank you very much indeed. In Malaga, Julie says the cigarette industry, tobacco industry kills about half its customers, yet the government happily taxes and allows its use. There's deep hypocrisy there. Julie, thank you. 9:25 is the time. We break away. Rishi Sunak and Grant Shapps will meet industry leaders this week in an effort to strengthen the UK's energy independence. The Prime Minister and Energy Security Secretary will speak with executives from oil, gas and renewable sectors, driving forward measures to safeguard national energy security and lessen reliance on hostile states. How's this all going to be possible? Do we have the storage facilities? Lord Callanan, Energy Minister at the Department of Energy Security and Net Zero. Lord Callanan, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you can meet all you want, but how are we going to increase our energy security? What are the plans?
Well, we have a number of plans. We are driving forward the investment in renewables. We are driving forward our plans for something called CCUS, which is carbon capture and storage, which has a massive potential to benefit the UK. And of course, it's also important to keep on with investments in oil and gas as we move away from oil and gas in the North Sea. And it's a declining field, but we still have usage in the UK. 80% of space heating is currently done by gas. So we need to make sure that we maintain our investment in our own resources.
You are still granting new oil and gas licenses, aren't you? That is a matter of difference. That is an area of difference between you and the Labour Party, is it not?
Yeah, we think the Labour Party are being crazy with their policy. At the end of the day, as I said, we still have a requirement. We only get about 40% of our supplies now from the North Sea. It's a declining field. We have to import the rest. And we think it's madness to import oil and gas, often from very unstable parts of the world, when we could produce those resources ourselves, employing British people and paying money to the UK exchequer. It's a mad policy to effectively rely on imports rather than our own resources, which is what Labour are proposing.
I was talking to Nick Thomas-Symonds earlier on, and I guess you guys are on the rounds together this morning and talking with media outlets. You know, he was pointing to the fact that you as a government chose to close the Rough gas storage, and it's cost this country something like 1.7 billion quid, but it's now reopened. Are the facts right? Is that what it's cost us, that mistake?
I don't recognise those numbers at all. As I said, we get 40% of our supplies from the North Sea. We import the rest through. There's an interconnector with the continent. We have some of the biggest LNG import facilities in Europe. In fact, we helped out the rest of Europe last summer with our import facilities. So we're very confident that we have sufficient supplies to see us through the winter.
Yeah, indeed. But when we close our storage, we make ourselves more vulnerable to outside suppliers and the costs of those outside supplies, don't we?
No, that's not necessarily true. As I said, we effectively have a large store in the North Sea. That's where we get most of our supplies from. Most other countries in Europe don't have the benefits of that. But it's a diverse international market. As I say, we import some LNG. We get some of our supplies through pipelines from Norway. We get some from supplies from the continent. In fact, we supply them as well at certain times of the year. So we're very confident in the robust nature of our energy security supply system.
Are you expecting this winter prices to surge once again, gas and electric?
We certainly hope not. We will have to wait and see. Obviously, we're at the mercy of geopolitical events. But it's one of the reasons why we want to slowly transition the UK away from reliance on oil and gas as our own supplies decline over to more renewables, because we don't want to be at the mercy of international markets. And we saw what happened when Putin invaded Ukraine. We saw a massive price spike. The government stepped in last winter to help people with their energy bills. Over winter, we were paying about half of people's energy bills. So the government will always be there to help out if we have to.
Is ex-Chancellor Hammond correct in what he says, that successive governments have not been particularly honest or upfront with the British people about the cost of net zero and about carbon neutrality? He estimates £1 trillion, which is virtually inconceivable, and where that's actually coming from. But is he right in suggesting that we've not really been upfront with people?
No, I don't think that's entirely fair. I mean, this is a long-term transition. We have a legal commitment to reach net zero by 2050. That's over 25 years away. There will be a cost to it. I think we have to be upfront about that. But nobody knows what the true cost will be, because, as I say, who knows what technology, what costs will be in 20 years' time. What we do know is that we've suffered from massive prices in massive price spikes from oil and gas supplies in the international market. That's why it makes more sense to transition away gradually from oil and gas to renewables, which is what we are doing. We got almost 40% of our electricity supplies last year came from renewable sources.
Don't we all have to accept in this country that our living standards are going to decline because of the pursuit of net zero?
No, we don't. We've reduced our emissions since 1990 by...
Okay. Right, guys. So, like I said, it's Sunday morning. I'm here by myself. Just getting on with things, really. I'm on my own. I try and find things to do to occupy my day. Sunday is one of those days where I think most people like to rest indoors, catch up with things, ready for next week. My mum has not phoned me yet this morning. She phoned me last night. I do have people if I need them. If I'm like in trouble or something, I've got people I can call. I think this is the way life is at the moment. It's very difficult, especially after COVID, to actually meet people. I mean, you've still got that fear in the back of your mind that the more people you mix with, possibly you could catch something like a flu or a bug. I think people are wary. I think there's a lot of scamming going on. Especially for vulnerable older women and women that are obviously vulnerable for different reasons. To actually trust somebody is difficult. The men that I used to meet were just trying to use me. I'm at an age where I'm not as physically fit as I was. I'm not a young woman, and I don't want to be mucked about with. To a young lad, you're a joke. You're a notch on their belt. You're a joke. Let's see what it's like to go with an older woman. And to an older woman, it hurts, and it hurts more. Because when you're younger, you can brush it off, and you're young enough to find somebody else. But when you're older, and a guy treats you like dog dirt, because it is treating someone like dog dirt, using them to sleep with and then buggering off and not coming back, or telling lies, giving someone the wrong name, trying to con their way into your accommodation. They're either married or got a girlfriend, or B, they're living with their parents. And they try and con themselves into your accommodation. You can't trace them, they've given you a false name. It just sounds like porn to me. It doesn't sound like a relationship, does it? Someone comes to your address, they give you a false name, fiddle about for half a minute, then bugger off. Is that all a woman deserves, is it? I'm tired of it. I'd rather be by myself. I mean, if you're going to let these blokes come in and treat you like that, then that's what's going to happen. And I'd rather be on my own. It's not worth it. Not for 30 seconds it isn't. I'd rather be by myself. Do you know what doesn't help? What doesn't help is that they've got dating sites for people that want to have affairs. They've actually got, I mean, when you're filling in an application to join a dating site, some of them say, are you looking for a man? Are you looking for a woman? Are you looking for this, that and the other? And some of them actually say, are you looking to have an affair? An affair with another woman or another man, whatever. I mean, that's not helping, is it? So people want casual. That's what I think. They're just casually sleeping around. They don't want anything permanent. So I'm not going to find what I'm looking for. So I'm just happy by myself, to be quite honest. It's not worth it. The feelings after someone's used you, the feelings you get afterwards can last for a long time, and they can have an adverse effect and make you feel rotten. So I'd rather be like I am now than experience someone treating me like dog dirt and then I get all upset and depressed again. You see what I'm saying? If you agree to a one night stand, to a casual affair, and you're quite happy with that, it still hurts by the way, then that's fair enough, but that's not what I want. And I'm heterosexual. I have no one specifically in my flat or in my life at the moment. I talk to males and I talk to females alike, right? But I am heterosexual. But you try and find somebody after you're 50. It's really, really difficult. Because men do like to go for younger women. And while older men can get younger women, they're not going to go for an older woman. It's as simple as that. That's my feelings. Right? I am quite happy by myself and getting on with what I'm going to do, okay? What people have said about me is utter bollocks. I'm in my middle 50s. There's no way that I could be what I'm being called. See you later.